Let's move ahead. We have another presentation by Skillmine's partners. This will be conducted by Mr. Anant Agrawal, Managing Director, Skillmine Technology. Let me give a short brief about him. Mr. Anant Agrawal is an accomplished Managing Director with over 28 years of diverse technical experience. He founded Skillmine Technology and previously held key positions at renowned companies. As the visionary Managing Director of Skillmine Technology, Anant leverages his technical knowledge and entrepreneurial spirit to drive the company's success. His innovative thinking, humble leadership style, and commitments to customer satisfaction have positioned Skillmine at the forefront of the industry. Under his guidance, Skillmine Technology has expanded to 4 countries in India, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, USA, and UK, featuring a dedicated team of 1,000+ professionals. Anant's exceptional technical expertise, leadership capabilities, and unwavering dedication continue to shape the future of Skillmine Technology and make a lasting impact on the IT industry. With this, I would like to invite Mr. Anant Agrawal, Managing Director, Skillmine Technology, on stage with a huge round of applause, everybody.
Hello. Hi. Thank you, everyone. Great to be here, and good to see such a auspicious audience here despite the flood alerts in Delhi, and great to be here. I'm basically from Mumbai, and I traveled yesterday and there was absolutely no problem, so hope everybody of you are doing well. I guess I am the one who is separating you from this session and lunch, so I'll try to be as crisp as possible, at the same time as informative, and would be great if you have any questions, then we can take that at the end of the session. I used a word called digital devoir. It's a French word. I am in Delhi, Mr. Modi is in France, and I try to use a French word, devoir. I wanted to actually paint a picture from, the whole industry has been talking about digital, DX, TX, cutting edge, bleeding edge, next gen, but with the entire razzmatazz around going digital, mobile, AI, ML, devoir is a French word which means duty, and I wanted to start the sensitizing of the entire digital transformation razzmatazz, and a lot of CTOs, the movers and shakers of the tech world in the NCR region are here. So digital duty, lending to digital transformation, which is primarily, we looked at 4 key success factors or the dependency factors around the whole thing is the business demands, the customer expectations, what can be facilitated by technology innovations, which actually leads to customer and business experience. Right. And a lot of this is being led by the digital disruptions, which we anyway talk about are, some of them are business induced, some of them are customer induced with changing behavior patterns and demands. A lot of that is starting to become technology induced. Most of the tech businesses or the tech senior people like the CTOs, the CIOs, they were never being represented, they never had a board seat, but now a lot of them have a board seat because a lot of them actually drive the business strategy with technology enabled, and some of them are economy or the environment induced, whether it was COVID. I mean, the user patterns change with a lot of innovations in the mobile technology. All of this, whatever we call at, in one white box which I tried to put is disruption, innovation, challenge, optimization, digitalization, actually combined with the vision and the strategy, but inside that has become technology. And there are a lot of business imperatives, whether that is called efficiency or effectiveness, expectations around customers, omni-channel engagements, and looking at scalability, insight of data, all this is how it actually comes together. Just before this session, there was a fireside chat, and Mr. Bansal was mentioning a lot of it is about the how part of it. And that is what I tried to relate it with the duty part of it. Right. And probably trying to give a little bit of my 2 cents around the how part of it. And the bottom left corner is what I want to stress upon, is that the digital transformation actually puts the people and strategy before technology. What is the business which actually needs? Digital is great, but the technology, if it is not in line with the business and the strategy, can actually become a very expensive toy to manage, can become a white elephant. How much the people of the organization are able to adapt to the change, the pace of the change? Are they properly skilled enough to operate in the new regime of technology and the new business? So the digital transformation, the how part of it is very, very important, and that's what it tries to put the strategy and the people before the technology. But with all the things, there is a method to the madness, and a lot of here very knowledgeable people do it in their own style, but the general theme of the overall thing revolves around the important aspect when I talk about identification and information as in a business is, we look at what are the flaws of the business. It could be a business flaw, a process flaw, or any particular, we think that we have connected processes. Are they disparate processes, or are they actually connected, or they are disconnected at the core of it, right? So the identification and the information gathering, the feasibility aspect of it, that's where the gray cells of the business heads, department heads who actually know the problems, talking to them actually leads to a lot of information gathering to understand what are actually the flaws or the problems, or the identification of opportunities for IT techies. The next thing is to really look at what is the bang for the buck here. What is the flaw which I can fix to solve a particular problem? What is the impact of fixing this particular issue? What is it going to cost me? So your calculation and prioritization, that then leads to your determination and experimentation. So we can make a business case around it. Now that the first 3 aspects of things are done, the technology has got many options today. There are many choices, on-prem versus co-prem versus cloud versus SaaS model. Should we look at open source versus freeware versus any particular thing? Do I have enough data for my machine? We talk about AI and ML, but the real bread and butter is the machine learning thing. How much is my models trained for to do my prediction? Based on that prediction, how can my AI modules actually take charge of being the accuracy part of it? So your experimentation and innovation, once these 3-4 things are, that's where we talk about optimization and humanization, to putting people that how much we can digest, and that's where the transformation journey can actually start, to actually lead to the right business benefit, to fix those flaws, to fix those disconnected things to be connected, to give you a seamless thing. Just trying to bring one slide on the duty part of the DeVoyer part of the presentation. We'll go to the next slide. So, and we talk about lot of the challenges. We as a businesses, a lot of my customers, I don't think the world is existing whereby there is a lot of greenfield IT available. Most of the businesses have 10, 20, 30 years of IT, a lot of legacy systems, a lot of semi-modern systems, some of them are fresh new. But so there are legacy systems, some of the data privacy and security issues, because anything we start to modernize, the real difference is the push versus the pull. How much information we can push, or how much information you allow your users and consumers to pull. So the data scalability, privacy, security, all these things becomes kind of, I wouldn't say these are problems, but these are watch outs for in any of the technology teams before we actually embrace a transformative project. Once we have figured out our mind and head around how do we actually tackle this, that's where in any digital scenario, because the technology is changing so fast, how can we do to prove the point of our models, to look at is this the doing thing right? So proof of concepts, validating your quick wins before we actually extrapolate that. The last 4 points are really about the expertise in the gaps and partnership. Is my IT team ready, or I need a right partner? What are the kind of budgets, how we can actually spend the money to look at quick wins? So for example, industry used to talk about MVP. At Skillmine, we don't talk about MVP, we talk about MLP, which we talk as minimum lovable product, right? Something which will give you something for your business in reality in less than 100 days. And then that's where the project of the technology is not a project. It's not a, I call it as a change program, which is touching your business operations, your people operations, your technology operations, and how that particular thing is done to actually lead to the right KPIs which can be measured. So again, key aspects of things from a digital side of things. When we try to look at technology innovation or process innovation, one of the key things, and I am also, a Marwadi businessman, I always like to do things, do more for less. So how can we make things simpler, better, cheaper, faster? Something which we are doing, we can actually look at making things simpler, better, cheaper, faster. That is the key aspect of things. So it has to be simpler for people who operate, it has to be better for business, it has to be faster than the market, it has to be cheaper than competition. That's where you actually get into the front of your business by using the technology. I want to take a special mention on the efficient program management. 2, 3, 4 years back, the program management function is only within IT. Then there are business analysts who work as a bridge between business teams, but the domain experts of the IT program management need to know the business, and that's where they challenge the business operations to embrace what is required, and there is a very much need for technology relationship managers from the IT teams to the business teams to bring about this thinking change within business. The rest of the things, whether we are looking at a microservices segmentation of the entire business process leading to DevOps and SecDevOps practice, your standardization around data security, and making the sense of the data, using the technologies in a libraries which you can reuse and continuously reuse, rather than developing projects, focus on developing libraries with microservices, so that it actually eventually the first 6 months or 1 year is hard work, but the next 6 months is just reuse and reuse kind of a thing on templates and libraries, which starts to then your digital journey starts to become more and more mature. Some of these thoughts is what is the core and the beating heart of a Skillmine, from our working practices, from our methods of operations, from our execution of delivery. I probably have just 1 or 2 slides. A quick overview of the service offerings on the digital and the information security cloud side. We're close to a 1,200 people workforce across 6 offices with close to just about 100 customers, mostly in the banking, retail, fintech, slowly getting into manufacturing world. But when we want to develop our service offerings, missing out something in the latitude and longitudes of the digital journey actually creates a gap in our delivery. So as on and new things come up, we are very, very keen to cover that gap in our technology delivery. So most of the aspects of the digital and information security we cover. We do a lot of assessments and work with a lot of technology providers to look at gaps and how can some of those things could be improved. On the left side are our services portfolio, and on the right hand side we have 4 of our own Make in India products, which we can provide you. We have a booth outside there with technology and functional teams. There is a literature which is provided. Most of the information is available online, and would love to provide you more insights about these products and solutions. Just to talk and bringing the focus on the machine learning part of it. So a Skillmine authenticator is basically all users, all apps, all devices, just one way of doing authentication and authorization. So some of the comparators are like an Okta or a Giga, but primarily riding on an OpenID Connect Auth2 protocols. All that solution is already there, but the new things which is coming up is risk-based authentication. Your MFA challenge question. You are a user and your ID passwords are set, but if you go to an airport lounge and log in, maybe you need a separate MFA there. Maybe somebody, if a user is changing its location, so every time it should not be a static change, it should be an AI-based induced machine learning change that something has changed. Your duplication and fraud. How can we get into behavioral biometrics of people from an authentication perspective? This can actually lead to a complete role-based access control within your applications. As long as your applications are OpenID or XAML compliant, no code change required. If you have custom applications, there is a SDK available for you to develop very small webhooks to get into a unified authentication. Just one ID, and this one ID can be extended not just to your internal users, but to your consumers as well. Data we had a very interesting presentation on Dinedo, which was primarily talking about the data. It was not a visualization, but data aggregation and data intelligence. We have a data visualization platform solution which is built on Elastic and a lot of AI ML tools, but auto labeling the data, deep discovery of the data, directly correlation of the data to do normalization and denormalization of data, to give you the real-time sensing of the slicing and dicing of the data as per you want, and doing canned reports to your business users. That's what the Data platform can do for you. eCompass is an e-commerce platform as a service. This is primarily for retail industry. We have quite a few healthcare industries and some sweet industries, retail. So eCompass is goods and eCompass Care is services. A complete storefront inventory, complete platform with loyalty program built in, which is configurable. It has to work with your backend ERP systems with sales, order, finance thing, but within 90 days we can get your complete e-commerce story fully upright. And Complement is nothing but a workflow automation tool for giving you real-time GRC solution. Works with all standards, integrates with all kinds of VAPT tools like Qualys, Rapid7 and all that. So how many vulnerabilities, what's your vendor third-party management control? This is our attempt to try to bring sense to a lot of IT security compliance which happens in Microsoft Office, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, give you a real-time dashboard with this. This is the last slide probably. So, I mean, really what we do have is we are a services company. The only thing we call ourselves is Skillmine is the only thing which we sell is our skills. Through that we have developed certain products. So through our standard authentication and authorization, we can reduce more than 20% of your development efforts. We have a lot of harvestable and reusable components from our products, whether we call about e-learning, e-content, e-supply, e-chain, all those things. And as we move towards standardized code and low code, no code, things like that, we actually reduce the number of releases. by using lot of productivity time and less downtime. We have started to do a lot of work on XDR and SOAR techniques and your security orchestrated platforms to actually deliver you the compliance. The underlying security should happen, it is technology. Distribute and dissect as much technology into microservices, make it really a no issue in terms of doing automation testing, performance testing to get a proper application development release experience. And as I was talking about minimum level product, so the real thing is continuous delivery, quality, integration, security, and improvement. That's pretty much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to me. I'm happy to take any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Please be with us. And I would like to invite on stage Mrs. Seema Ahluwalia, Director, Human Resource, Digital Transformation, Sonipat, to facilitate Mr. Anant Agrawal.